tiger claws. For those few masters, it's a skill of combat. For one man, it's a weapon of murder.
This killer is a highly trained martial artist.
When I was training in Kung Fu, I had a Chinese teacher, and he would take me to to the cinema in Chinatown in New York, and I'd watch the Jackie Chan movies. I would see Jackie Chan doing, the Drunken Master, the old one. So when I went to Hong Kong, I thought they were going to put me in Chinese braids, and I'd have Chinese clothing on, and it would be a period film like old China. And I was surprised that I wore jeans, and I was like from England, and it was more modern of a movie. So that was a big surprise for me. Chinese films aren't released in the United States. The only place you can get them is maybe in a Chinese video store. My first contact was a movie I did, Yes Madam, in Hong Kong. And how that came about was I was on a demonstration team in Los Angeles, and they heard they were holding auditions for a new Bruce Lee. They were looking for a man. And I went down with them, and at that time, I was currently #1 in professional competition for 2 years, so they recognized who I was. So the producers said, well, can you do some form? I did. They said, could you do weapons? I did. They said, fight? I did. And then they ended up signing me instead of a guy. So in June of 1985, I went to Hong Kong and to do my first film. That was the first scene I shot, and it was really funny because it was an all-night shoot. And it was my first movie. I wasn't used to staying up all night, and it was a really hard fight scene. So it was a tough experience for me because I think we got to the airport about 11 at night and finished at like 7 in the morning. After that, I did Shanghai Express with Sammo Hung, and then I did No Retreat, No Surrender, Part 2, and then I did Above the Law. Well, Hong Kong's much more hard. In the United States, there's a safety factor that they're really concerned. They don't want the actors to do anything dangerous because they feel if they get hurt, there goes your movie, because time is of an importance in the United States. In Hong Kong, the more dangerous stuff that they could think of for you to do, the better, because it's not that they're not concerned with the safety of the actor. They just don't think about it. They think about what the overall vision is going to look. And in every film that I've done in Hong Kong, I've gotten hurt so many times on each film, and I'd say, that's it, this is my last film, I quit after this, my body can't take it. And then I'd heal, and I'd see the film on the screen and say, okay, when's the next one? But it was hard. Sometimes I did such dangerous stuff, I could have been killed in the Hong Kong pictures. I think they're geniuses as far as the outlook, the outcome of it. But it's very hard. Like when you see me getting hit by someone else, they don't just do it one time. They'll do it about 20 times. They'll do it until they have like 3 or 4 excellent, without any mistake shots. So it takes a long time to shoot, and it's a lot of bruises and a lot of pain. A lot of similarities, yeah. There are. I think they studied those, films from before and tried to get that. They try to develop that kind of comedic action style, that you don't see in America anymore. Maybe I can't even say it's Steve Martin. Like Steve Martin may be the wit, but not the physicality. But in Hong Kong, I think that's where they've seen it from Buster Keaton or whatever, and that's how they evolved their martial art action. You know what else I also like is the Charlie Chaplin Keystone Cop movies. I think what they did too was also extremely amazing for that time. I love the Pink Panthers also. They were great. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. When Peter Sellers died, I was so depressed. Yeah. I love like the excitement of it, the sword fighting, the jumping off of ropes, the whole pirate thing, the costume, the era, everything, he was very physical, in his movements. And especially me, because I love weapons. That's my thing, is weapons, whether it's, fencing or swords or pirates or, like that type of action. I just love to see that. And I was amazed, when I saw him, because of course that was like way before my time, that the action was so good. I love things like that. Like I love like First Night that just came out, like with King Arthur. I love period films like that, or ancient Rome or ancient civilizations, the Greeks, mythology. Yeah, I really enjoy that kind of picture. I would love to. I know they don't do that much action pictures here, but it's funny because in America, I see a lot of French films. I go to the art theaters, and I think I've seen every film Gerard Depardieu has done, and I really, really do like the French films. I think they're great, and a lot like La Femme Nikita. When I saw that, I thought that's the kind of movie I want to do. And I was trying to see if you could buy the rights to do an American version, but Warner Brothers already had it. Yeah, so I really do love the French movies. I'd love to do something like a female James Bond. Something like that I think would be fun. Like that character, but like the female version. Let's see. Books, I don't know about books. I don't think, I mean, I can't really say what character. I mean, because there's so many different ones, that I'd want to do. But that was the thing, is like like a female James Bond. Sometimes I read them and I don't like them. Sometimes I really like them, and it all depends, I think a lot of my past movies, when you're first starting out, you can't really choose what you want to do. It's just you're glad to work. So you do some pictures that maybe aren't so good. But now I'm at the point where I'm looking for different roles to play. Like in Fast Getaway, that was more of a comedy. I love to do comedy. I want to play a comic book hero. Or I'd like to do a futuristic movie, which is actually in the works. We might be shooting a picture in India, which is like almost like a road warrior, a Mad Max type with a female lead, and it involves a lot of mysticism and, the old ancient post-apocalyptic war feeling. So that is something I'm really, really interested in doing. I want to do different things than the norm, than playing the cop. I don't feel that in that field I'm that creative as a writer. I do write a monthly column for a magazine in America, but I think for me it's better to maybe come up with an idea and tell someone that can write and then write it. I wish I could, because then I could do exactly what I wanted to, but that's not one of my talents, is writing a script. No, usually you don't. Usually the production company will hire the director, and the director is like the king. Whatever he says goes. You have say in a lot of other things, but it's the director's picture, so you basically have to do what the director wants. Maybe if you don't like something, you can talk to him, and if he agrees, he'll change it, but if not, he has the say in the picture in America. So a lot of times, if the movie doesn't come out well, it's not the actor's fault, it's the director's fault. I think of the Chinese pictures, Blonde Fury or later Lady Reporter, there's different names for them. That was my favorite Chinese one. My favorite American one has been Irresistible Force.
The last, with Stacy Keach?
Yes, right. Yeah.
Why?
First of all, I was with really good actors. I was with Stacy Keach, I was with Paul Winfield, and I learned a lot from acting from them. The director was Kevin Hooks, who directed Passenger 57, so he was a very experienced director. I had a choreographer from Hong Kong come in and do the fights, so the fights were how I wanted them. I prefer a Hong Kong choreographer to an American choreographer, and this is the first American picture I had the opportunity to use one. So we shot in Australia, and I really had a great time filming there. So the whole package was just a wonderful time, and I feel acting-wise it's my best film.
Next picture in America?
Well, the next picture I do is Tiger Claws 2. That's a sequel to Tiger Claws. That's in Toronto. But in January, I'm slated to do a movie called Blonde Justice that I'm a little bit more excited about. It's more of the kind of picture I want to do. It's a woman that is a psychologist, which I haven't played before. And she actually gets psychic visions of what's going on and becomes like a vigilante. So to me, it's a better story than a lot of the films I've done in the past. The action will be, better than the American action that I've done in the past, and I think it'll be something different. It's a little bit more of, I play more of a woman instead of, a lot of times I'm kind of like the tough cop or the tough woman. So this will show the more soft side of me as a woman along with the strong side. I live in Santa Monica, which is right outside of Los Angeles. The neighbors are looking, and if they see something fishy going on, they're automatically going to call the police. So everybody's sort of watching out for each other. And to me, that's a good thing. I feel safer, knowing that, that people will look after each other, because they know that, it's dangerous. The only bad thing, I think, in living in a big city in America is the crime and the danger. Yeah. America is very dangerous right now. Nobody wants to, at 1 o'clock in the morning, go. We don't have metros, but like walking on the street to your car or something like that, it's very dangerous. We have a lot of gangs, a lot of bad people roaming the streets. It's a very bad thing now is, people going to the ATM to get money out of the machines. Like just recently, a pregnant woman was shot, trying, to get money out. So America, I feel, is very dangerous. I feel maybe coming from there, it's even more dangerous than Europe. The thing is that you have to be aware of situations, you know, no matter how good you are. Like, I feel very confident to defend myself. I am not going to park my car 3 blocks down in a dark street and go, okay, I could take care of myself. I will park it in the safest place possible. I will avoid like a confrontation, or if I see some guys over here, you know, that look bad, I'm not going to walk by them. I think you have to be aware. A lot of times, like if you have keys, you're walking, like to put your key in between your hand. You just have to be aware that something could happen, because today it's crazy. You know, people are crazy. You know, and my best friend in America was shot on the street because some person wanted to get into a gang, and they said you have to kill a woman to get into the gang. And he just came up and he said, give me your keys to your car. She gave it to him. She saw him pull his gun out, ready to pull the trigger. She turned around and ran, and he shot her. You know, in a situation like that, someone just pulls a gun out, you know, to shoot you. No, she was very lucky. It went through her lung and lodged in her arm. And you know, he ran across the street, went in a fast food restaurant. It was at 7 o'clock at night. It was still daylight. It was in the summer. People saw it. They called the cops. They went in the restaurant and got him. You know, so I mean, you get killings in America for no reason at all. You get a lot of drive-by killings, you know, in their cars. People, you know, just shoot up, you know, maybe you accidentally go in front of someone, you know, they'll shoot you. You know, it's LA is a very, very dangerous place. A lot of times I don't think that works, you know, trying to talk, and in a lot of situations you can't do that. You know, if someone's choking you, it's only going to be a matter of seconds before they'll kill you. If someone's on top of you, it's only going to be a matter of seconds before they rape you. You know, so you have to do something before this chance happens to you, you know. So I think, to me, it's like if you're in a dangerous situation, you have to react. I think so. I think a lot of people say, well, can you really fight? You know, because they see me do it in the movies, but they might think it's tricks or it's photography or whatever. And I've, you know, most of my life has been dedicated to martial arts, because when I was training for professional competition, that's all I did all day long, was train, teach, train, teach, train, teach. And I did that for a good 10 years, 5 really consecutively, you know. So, I mean, I have such a strong martial art background, traditional, you know, way more than what you see in the films. And I just feel that everybody should learn some sort of self-defense, man, woman, child, you know, because today our society is so dangerous that if you just learn some, it might save your life someday or save a loved one's life, you know. And I think one thing that I have been trying to do is be a crusader for women to take martial arts, because I think it's changing. I see a lot of changes now, but when I first started doing martial arts, you know, which was way back, it was a man's sport. It was, as I got older, I was the first woman on the cover of a karate magazine, you know, because they didn't want to put women on the cover, and then it sold, and they were like, hey, so it opened the doors for other women. I was the first woman actually really to become like a known martial art actress. I still have the problem, because I'm a woman, of doing a big budget studio film like Van Damme or Seagal. You know, it's very easy for them because the studios think, oh, it's a man and they'll sell, you know, and they think, women. So I'm really trying to work over that, you know. I feel I've changed a lot from competing and doing demonstrations and traveling around the world, that women feel that you don't have to be big and strong. You don't have to have gigantic muscles to fight, to defend yourself. It's just technique. It's just purely technique, so anybody can learn it. I had women say to me, well, can you wear lipstick when you're training? It's like, yes, of course, you know. They almost think you have to be manly in order to do it, you know, and I think that's one thing that I feel that I have done, is brought more women into the martial art world. Same in the films, you know. They'll see it, now traveling women will say, oh, that's great, and they see that I'm just like a normal person. I'm not someone that's 6 foot tall and big. And they'll say, well, boy, if you could do that, maybe I could do it, you know, and then they'll try it, you know, so.